All right, I thank you all for waiting through that awful downtime. I'll explain why that took so long in just a moment, but let's get these intros done pretty quick. The top left, oh darn it, he is going to be playing a pretty normal game. We have the red Protoss, Team Liquid MaNa. And his opponent to the bottom right, going to be the blue Zerg, Team Liquid Snute, who they did play each other just this past weekend. They had a really epic, probably the best out of that entire round series against each other. And of course, it started with MaNa being a little bit of a dick with a cannon rush, and I was kind of hoping he'd be willing to bring that to his online play. But to explain why this took so long to get going, before we went to our break, I had pointed out Snute wanted about 5 or so minutes just to kind of, I don't know what he was doing, but basically relax before his game gets going. And then when it was ready to go, MaNa got stuck with this. You guys have all probably experienced this before, right? This really annoying problem where even though you've got StarCraft as your focus, the Windows taskbar still pops up and tries to take priority and thus blocks the bottom portion of your screen. And despite restarting and opening, closing, and turning it off and on again, he couldn't get it to work. So MaNa ended up having to do like a full PC restart to fix all of his problems, which of course screwed up all the other stuff he had set up to play. So he's good now. It took a pretty significant amount of time, and that's just me explaining why it took so long to get in the game. So apologies guys, but sometimes that stuff just happens. Now as far as I don't really have any predictions on how this series goes. Recently we witnessed MaNa did beat Snute, so hey, we know that that's a direction this game can go. But Snute is a lot better at ZVP than he has been in the past. Excuse me. And one Austin stage best of 5 does not reflect their series as a whole. In fact, I'm gonna just quickly, you know what? Alt tabbing's not working for me. Well, I was gonna say what I would do is I would tab out to Ligulac really quick and see what their record against one another is, but these guys have gone pretty back and forth. I know in the past, Snute and MaNa have actually done some specific plays where they try to kill each other so they can identify each other's weakness as teammates and thus improve each other. They've been bouncing ideas off of each other for years now. They're both really good at the game, and excuse me, I guess we have a little bit more favoritism to MaNa just due to recent results. But that's all I'll say for now, because really it's going to come down to the gameplay. MaNa did do the double Stargate build, by the way, while he was in Austin. We saw him fight against Namshar with something similar. So far it's just one Stargate. I'm really curious if he'll follow that up with another. Dreamcatcher's a pretty interesting map. It's got a lot of potential terraforming, but it also is a map that you don't want to give Snute freedom to creep spread on, because one of the advantages is like all these bases are pretty spread out. If Snute connects them all with creep, then it's not such a problem, but more on that later. Snute, of course, has quite a few Zerglings being aggressive right now. Catches the Adept, kills the Adept. That's pretty nice. He's not going to get through this wall that's been fully walled. And he's actually gonna put the Adept on the other side of it too. I always love that little trick out of Protoss. It's such a basic move, but I really do like it. This means, by the way, that there'll be very little to no scouting going into the main, leaving Snute with a question: did MaNa actually double Stargate? The Overlord's gonna die, so he won't scout it, and it's just terrifying knowing that MaNa has that like in his repertoire, that he's willing and able to possibly pull a build like that out. Because it's been so frustrating today watching people like Goblin just go Stargate heavy and beat players like a Laser. I still cannot believe a Laser got 2-0'd by Goblin. Just blows me away. Actually, I never checked the top side of the bracket, how that ended up going. I'm looking real quick. Looks like Goblin lost a player named He Hate Me, excuse me. He Hate Me, he had resubbed. We'll talk about that in a second, but kudos to Hate Me, I guess. Also, we did have quite a few subs come in during that long-ass break period, so speaking of which, thank you, He Hate Me _ for the 28 months. Let's make Terran great again. Len, 1707, brand new Prime sub. Beastie gave us a big-ass host. Thank you for that earlier, dude. I'm sorry that we were on the break screen and I missed it. If any of you guys are still here from Beastie's chat, can I get one more in chat for me, please? The Daxter33, thank you for the 2 years coming up on that resub. Much appreciated, man. For Pete's sake, BaseTradeTV, we were worried about you while you were away. Well, I mean, I legit almost lost the use of my left ear for, like, it sucked. Or, well, I did lose the my use of my left ear, but luckily it was temporary is what I should have said. Thank you for worrying, I suppose, though. Oh, thank you, Melty. Did some research. Apparently, Snoot's like 60-40 favored. All right, that's cool. See if that plays out like that, though. Of course, it's not always going to be accurate. Sometimes you get thrown for a loop. A lot of Phoenix found a lot of Overlords in the main. Showing that there's this many Phoenix still at this timing doesn't indicate it was a double Stargate. I mean, we know it was because we've been watching the production tab this whole time, of course, but while MaNa's doing this attack to kill Overlords and supply block Snute, and I mean, this is tilting and frustrating. Snoot's actually gone for the attack. Roach is coming across the map. I think he's got a little bit of a creep highway. Not much, but a little bit. Lings are going to be tough, too, because there's not enough Phoenix to lift every single Roach and every single Ling. And MaNa doesn't have much in terms of ground forces. In fact, no shield battery at the front. It's just now getting started. Force field should be able to buy some time. He runs in and gets on top of the sentry, though. Not quite going to kill it, however. Or maybe, wait, what? Yeah, not going to kill it. Still, though, breaks the cyber core. He breaks into the base. There's a ton of energy on these Phoenix, though. So, I mean, if done correctly, they could deny this all day. But, oh, that big deny on the pylon's going to be able to... No. Oh, my God. If he didn't stop that, the Immortal would have come out, and this would have been such an easy cleanup for MaNa. Instead, this is still a cleanup, but this one takes effort. Without the Immortal, easy shots, melting the Roaches away. Snute is still dying on the attack. This doesn't look like it's done enough, but it's like only just barely not done enough. Although the Ling follow-up's looking pretty good. Nothing in the natural. Main base finally gets sorted. And, well, with the shield battery and these Zealots, looks like maybe the natural might be where the end of this goes. Although some probes will go down here. This will be nice. Continue to deal some damage. Just evened up the worker count now, but an Immortal's out. Shield battery goes down. More probes looking to die. Zergling's getting caught. A little bit in that funnel, a little bit in that choke. Focusing on the Nexus now, too. Might get a third base snipe if he can keep all the attention of MaNa here in the natural base. Big surround, looking for some more kills and pylons, but not getting them. So probes are going down in the middle line because MaNa's focused elsewhere. So much attention to split them in amongst so many units. And Snute has killed 20 more probes on top of this. A grand total of 30, bringing MaNa down to 32 workers. Snute also looking to kill a third base. Honestly, this is getting pretty close to going down. Finally, a Zealot gets here. He's even using the Phoenix to lift them. He needs to lift them. He wants to save this Nexus. Oh my gosh. Lethanos23 says, BaseTradeTV, are we also watching the finals today too? So there's no actual finals match that gets played. It's just these top two get qualified. And this is, by the way, a qualifying match. So the winner of this gets qualified through the Challenger, which so I've been kind of confused about this. I guess I got it sort of explained. I guess this is technically not a WCS Valencia event. Like, I guess WCS Valencia is strictly the event that happens like at Valencia. Everything online is just like WCS branded, but like Challenger for Valencia or something like that. Regardless, doesn't matter. These are qualifiers, and that's the important thing. Top two get through to the top side, top two through the bottom side. So I'll cast as long as I've got the stamina for it. I got to be honest, because I'm kind of on the tired side already. But yeah, this is I guess if you want to look at technically a finals match. Again, it's not the finals of the whole bracket, but it's the finals of this half of the bracket, because one person gets through and the other person has to fight for their life in the losers bracket. Also, Texas, I know I said hi to you in chat, but just give me a quick howdy on the mic. Really fun times hanging out with you this weekend, dude. I wish we could do it more. That Pokemon session was probably my favorite part of all of Austin, if I'm going to be completely honest. Nice fungal on the Phoenix. I'm not sure if this will get all the kills. He's got one more fungal in him. Oh, this is pretty nice, though. Removing a lot of these from play takes away a lot of control from MaNa. And MaNa, of course, is going to get killed now as the Lings surround the Immortals on the front. And Lings run through to the main. I mean, he was already in a pretty tough spot, but he had recovered. He had got those probes up. He had Chrono Boost and 3 Nexus. But Snute kills another 7 workers, 8 workers. This would have been only made better if you got the Immortals on top of it, but Snoot's army supply is riding a little bit low right now. So normally, a lot of these Zerglings are super expendable, excuse me, and it doesn't matter if you lose them. But in this weird instance, it's kind of a big deal. Snute doesn't have a lot to fight with MaNa pushing soon with charge. The Queens got really aggressive on the other side of the map, too aggressive in fact, so they get picked off. Snoot's now making some Hydras. He's hoping for Banelings. I don't know if Baneling speed will be done in time, but if he can kill the Zealots, it's only really like 4 Immortals. Like, I'm talking about Snute not having much of an army, but neither does MaNa. The difference is MaNa had upgrades, kind of a little bit of tech going with him. But Miracles, thank you for the 39 months coming back. Oh, a lesson is not changing. A lesson in not changing history from Mr. I'm my own grandpa. Let's get the hell out of here already. Screw history, Professor Farnsworth. Dude, Futurama is still like one of my favorite shows of all time. It's like, I would say actually, I recently watched a show called Final Space. Season 1 just finished and season 2 is planned. The animation quality on that was top notch. It is probably my second favorite show under Futurama. If you guys haven't seen it, I would recommend it. But anyways, this is gonna be a little bit awkward. Storms are not gonna be here for the fight. Stasis traps are a good move. Catches some of the army, not all the army, of course. Couple fungal growths, locked and loaded too. Well, it's just one, actually. I didn't realize all the infestors were gone. I'm not sure what you put the priority for that on, though. Some infested Terrans might be better. Snute says yes, too, because the infested Terrans are going to benefit from those +1 ranged weapon upgrades. They'll soak a couple of Zealot shots. That Baneling doesn't go off, so the Zealots charge through to the Hydras, but the base, so low from earlier, still goes down. And with Hydras cleaning up the Immortals, this looks like it's finally the end for MaNa. And Snute looking to take a 1-0 for this best of 3. MaNa has nothing left. There you go. There's the tap out. Yeah, map number 1 goes to our boy Snute. Whoop, whoop. Also, I just got really excited and started spitting as I was excited, and some of it got on my glasses. How wonderfully gross. So congratulations, this is what I look like without my glasses on. You see this once in a lifetime. Ugh. I've had glasses since I was... I want to say at least elementary school, pretty much my whole life. It's really weird. I've considered, like, so many people I know are getting like corrective eye surgery and stuff nowadays, and I've thought about it, but I kind of feel like glasses are just like, I know objectively if you were to meet me without my glasses, I wouldn't look like a strange person, but seeing myself without my glasses makes me feel so weird, so just like lost. But hey, speaking of which, it's Lost and Found coming up next for game number 2. Lobby's going up. I'm joining in. Here to rock and roll. So basically, this is the last game of the day. No, not at all, dude. So there's an entire losers bracket that's still playing out. The other qualification match, I think, has started. It's Soul versus Lambo, but there's going to be 2 more qualification matches in the bottom bracket. And so far, you still got people... Well, we'll talk about this in a sec. Let's hop in the game. Lost and Found map 2. I love this guy in chat making jokes. Futurama is my favorite anime, but they actually did that one anthology episode where they churned them all into anime, right? It was like, it was a really bad episode if we're gonna be honest, but I particularly enjoyed that portion of it. That and the Scooby-Doo part, I guess, but thank you, Hard Revenge, for that 11 months. Since today, a girl said she recognized me from Vegetarian Club, but I'm sure I've never met her before. So good. I've never heard that one. I'm going to absolutely use that one. So good. Thank you. Heat Sink underscore came back for 35 months as well. He says, here forever. Ace 1, Ace 2. Like that. We hop in the game. To the top right side. Unfortunately, it's a gas and no forge. We have red Protoss MaNa. Spawning to the bottom left. He's the blue Zerg. It's Team Liquid Snute. He's up 1-0 at the moment. Any chance we get to see more Clem today? I haven't looked at the bottom side of the bracket. If he's still in it, I would totally be down for grabbing some Clem from the loser side of things. But as far as the winners bracket, it's not like, yeah, it's about whether Clem survived in the losers side or not. In fact, where are we at? I'm gonna tab out. Excuse me. We're gonna. What can we auto follow? This probe. God, I hate Battlefy brackets. I'm actually beyond triggered that Blizzard uses these, but okay. Sort of is fighting against a laser, and the winner of that fights against Clem. Yo, if this times out perfectly, this series ends. We see like Snute like 2-0, right? He qualifies through. We might be able to catch Clem versus a laser or Clem versus sort of. That would be a lot of fun too, I think. I'm a big Clem fanboy, as many of you know, so I'm happy to catch his games when and where we can. But there's a lot of really good players still on that bottom side, and keep in mind, excuse me, Snute or MaNa, whoever loses this series, will still have a chance to fight in the losers bracket in what is basically the qualifying round down there. I really want to stress this, guys. I am 100% happy to have done the winners bracket, and if we got some cool games in the losers bracket, I'll jump on that too, but I don't want to push myself too hard today. It's my first time back after traveling / being kind of sick / having myself in the ER for 4 days because my ear is fucking broken. Actually, this is kind of like the fish story. I feel like every time I say it, it gets longer. It was objectively, I think, 2 days I had this thing in my ear, but it felt like 3, and now I'm saying 4 for some reason. So, you know, that week I had... I can't. I'll stop right there. Anyways, point is, yeah, we'll go as far as we can today. Long answer to a very easy question. Terry says try to get Subway or McDonald's. Dude, Subway every time. Hello? Don't get me wrong, grabbing like a double cheeseburger from time to time is delicious, but you can't go wrong with Subway, dude. Unless you're a guy who gets overweight, becomes a spokesperson, loses a lot of weight, gets really rich off of your endorsement with Subway, and then diddles little children and ends up in jail. In that case, Subway can be really bad for you. But for the rest of us normal people, I think Subway is awesome and great, and I love it. Gotta get those 2 layers of lettuce, a little bit of ham, no cheese, toasted, Parmesan, oregano. I've actually been adding spinach in lately, but hey, who cares about sandwiches when MaNa's about to lose his front door? This forces a recall on the adepts that were looking to be on the other side of the map. I mean, Snute knew those were there too, so he sees the recall, has no problem. And this actually was a very interesting attack out of Snute. It didn't do a lot of damage, but it fully did withdraw MaNa, and he even got a recall out of it too, which I don't think he was expecting. And if MaNa was going for a double Stargate build, and he's done 1 for now, but any kind of Stargate build, there you go, the double Stargate, you know, this is something where Snute's taking no damage back at home leading up to this. Like, no workers have died. There's been no real aggression to worry about. Now the Oracle comes in, but it's already lost its shield, so it can't go much further. Like, Snute's got a pretty solid home setup at the moment. Like, this is like you go to your friend's house and you see their home theater setup, and you're like, damn, I want one of those. I want to play a game flawlessly on the defense against MaNa. That being said, though, the Stargate build, the Phoenixes, it's all still very frustrating to deal with, no matter how good your opening is. Goes back in for Revelation Tag. I really don't think that actually accomplished much, funny enough, so just ends up losing a little more health for it. Might end up hurting him in the long run. Obviously not going to hurt him too much here in the short term. Allergies in Austin were killer since Texas is gone. You're telling me, dude. I finally got good on the last day that we're leaving. Like, that's what broke my heart. I was like stuck. Like, for those who don't know, when I was like in Austin, I spent most of it wrapped up in my covers, sitting next to the air conditioner, like not even on the bed, just like sitting next to the air conditioner in the hotel room, breathing. Like, allergies were so bad in Austin, not to mention the heat. Anyways, Ling's looking for a big attack here. I'm not sure if they're going to cancel on the base. There's a lot of zealots in the depths to defend this, not to mention that Oracle, but he gets the surround and he gets the cancel, and Snute's going to get the hell out of Dodge. That's a nice way to stall out MaNa, who, by the way, in doing a double Stargate build, initially 2 Phoenix at a time are not very expensive, but when it gets to the point of the game where you're producing 2 Phoenix at a time and anything else, that's when they're too expensive. So denying a 3rd base, even just a cancel on it, is still pretty big. That's going to buy Snute a lot of time. Back on the other side of the field, though, he's only got 1 Spore Crawler per mineral line, not going for Damaga 3s. But he says, like, you know, if you're wasting your energy lifting my queens at home, and of course you're attacking my drones, then you're not going to have anything to stop the counterattack, ideally. So runs across the map with the roaches and the lings, and we'll see if MaNa gets baited in for more kills or if he goes back to defend, because he absolutely needs to defend. Even with the shield battery, I don't know if there's enough to actually stop the attack. Now once the roaches get in here, just Zerglings, he can hold, but the roaches make this a problem. BaseTradeTV, how did you get it in your ear? How do you think I put it there? Like an idiot. Nidus Worm is kind of a cool move out of Snute. I like this because it does bring in that whole topic of, like, if you can't walk across the map because you can get picked up by the Phoenix, go under it where they can't shoot you, right? So you can't attack buildings, you won't be able to attack the roaches. He just has to pop up the Nidus Worm for a reinforcement point. Not to mention you can do some micro with it too, but that's the next level stuff. We'll talk about that if it happens. For now, he does surround and kill, and the shield battery's out of juice. One Oracle not going to stop this. Snute walks away while the Oracle wastes his energy, but a Nidus Storm comes down to reinforce, and this should be an easy 3rd base kill. There's only really Phoenix left to defend. Although I like the idea of the stasis trap. It doesn't actually work because Snute just triggers it with the Zergling. Another Nice comes down on the natural base. He's not actually going to unload from this one. Does he even have anything inside of it? No. What? These are like sick distraction Nidus Worms. That's all they are. He's queuing up another one to go at the third. I mean, keep in mind, guys, it's 100 minerals, it's 100 gas. A Nidus Worm is not something free. You can't just, like, use it willy-nilly. You have to actually use it. So, comes in with the Queens now. There's the big attack outside the natural. MaNa getting absolutely destroyed. With the Immortals going down, these Queens are free-firing on top of the Phoenix. And who cares about that third base? It's been gutted clean. So, as the natural base falls apart, this might just be the end of MaNa's run. And Snute looking to qualify in for the Challenger Series here, WCS. Seriously, there's like nothing left for MaNa. 1 Immortal, 1 Zealot, 7 Phoenix. This is the 117 build, boys. It's not going to be good enough. Charge isn't even halfway done. The third base getting destroyed. Yeah, I think it's safe to say, with 13 queens, Snute, my boy, with 13 queens. Well, there's the GG. Just that awkward wait time as Snute has done it. Now, I could be wrong. I believe that means Snute's qualified. And I'm fairly certain there's no actual finals match to be played, as I mentioned before. But like I said, I could be wrong. I don't know. Either way, this means we will be dipping into the losers bracket next. And as I said, if Clem's match times out perfectly, we'll definitely try and cover some Clem games. I love watching Clem, guys. He's a very, very fun Terran player to watch. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for that. So we're going to go to commercial break. This commercial might take longer than normal because I'm going to go poop. So see you guys in a bit.